does it sometimes seem like you can't keep up with the pace of change, including new information we have to process, technology, and even how we use language? Well, you're not alone. Part of the reason is that as humans, we haven't adapted at the same pace as technology has evolved. Navigating the world today requires us to continuously adapt and develop new skills and approaches to doing our work. We also have to question the assumptions that held true in the past. Imagine you just started a new position. You might think, I've done this type of work in the past successfully. I possess the necessary skills, and I have relevant experience. But you start your job and find it more difficult to adapt and work independently than you thought. For example, maybe in your previous position, you collaborated with your colleagues closely. Now, you work in an environment where there is not much collaboration. You find it hard to develop relationships with your team this way and struggle to establish productive communication routines. While changes like this one can be tough, we're going to explore how to navigate them. When we encounter something new, we can often rely on our past experiences and knowledge to help us get the job done. But that's not always the case. Sometimes, what we already know and do might actually get in the way of approaching the situation in new ways. Often, when something is challenging, we believe that if we just tried harder, we could be successful. Rather than trying harder in those situations, take a moment to identify what is getting in the way, what you might need to unlearn. Unlearning is what we do when prior learning gets in the way of new learning. It's called for when what used to work stops working, either because we change, circumstances change, or both. While learning can't really be undone, we can, and often do, sideline old skills and knowledge, or at least confine them to contexts in which they're still useful. When starting a new job that calls for you to develop new processes and ways of thinking, you might need to unlearn in order to successfully perform the tasks. This unlearning might take place along 3 dimensions: mindsets, habits, and systems. A mindset is a set of thoughts or mental state that influences how we interpret our experiences and how we respond to them. It includes assumptions about the world and beliefs about how it functions, such as that productive work can only happen when collaborating a certain way. Habits are largely unconscious and automatically triggered by internal and external cues. One reason habits are so hard to unlearn is that they are encoded in our brains with a close connection to their triggers, but not to the reward or goal that motivated them in the first place. As a result, we often enact the habitual, even when unenjoyable. We can usually unlearn habits that no longer serve us, such as collaboration styles that do not translate well to a new work environment where collaboration is not as emphasized. Systems, which include the structures where we do our work and the networks of people around us, can help or hinder us as we encounter changes. Work doesn't happen alone. Creating systems that support us through transitions is important for furthering learning and growth in the workplace. When starting a new job, you might need to create a new support system at work too. Applying the 3 dimensions of unlearning when taking on new work can make a transition more successful. But while mindsets, habits, and systems are lenses that can help us navigate the changes that we are going through, they don't necessarily suggest how to do work that is high quality, responsible, and energizing. What is good work that can carry us through these transitions? Every day, as we do our work, we interact with 3 dimensions of good work. The first dimension is excellence, that is, work that is done well or performed to a particular standard. Second, work that is ethical is socially responsible. Finally, work that is meaningful or provides a sense of enjoyment or fulfillment, we call this engaging work. Let's talk about some examples of what good work is like in practice. For example, imagine you are completing a project. You review your work to ensure that it achieved the objectives and was completed in a quality manner. That ensures that the work is done well. You would want to ensure you were ethical. Did you make sure that your work represented your team and organization well and had a positive impact on others and even on society? Doing work that is ethical might also include making sure you follow the law or guidelines for responsible work in your field, even if others might be pressuring you not to. Sometimes, doing ethical work might also involve disobeying laws or standards when they are harmful, in order to promote values like equity or fairness. And finally, you would want to consider whether the work is engaging. For example, do you find a sense of meaning in what you are doing? Unlearning and good work interact with and support each other. Mindsets can provide purpose, meaning, and engagement. Habits can establish routines that encourage excellence. And systems remind us to consider the effects of our work on others. It isn't always easy or straightforward to do good work or unlearn. We might struggle to change mindsets and habits, work in an environment that doesn't feel supportive, or feel that our work does not have purpose or feel fulfilling. Even though good work and unlearning are not always easy, reflecting on and engaging with these frameworks might help us better adjust to changes and find fulfillment in the workplace. Unlearning assumptions about how productive work can happen and communication habits that no longer serve you in a new environment might help you adapt during a time of transition and connect better with others. While cultivating a meaningful support system can aid you and your team in thriving in the workplace and doing work with excellence and a commitment to others. While switching jobs can sometimes be challenging, applying these frameworks can help you and your team do good work by adapting and keeping up with the rapid pace of change. If you're interested in learning more, please contact us.